Looks good, thank you. President Trump's recent execution of reciprocal tariffs marks a significant shift in U.S. trade policy. The move sparked widespread concern about the potential effects and impacts on businesses, consumers, and international relations. Rita McGrath, Columbia Business School professor, joins us live now to discuss this. Rita, great to have you.
A pleasure to be here.
So how are these tariffs expected to impact American businesses, especially those that rely on imported materials or global supply chains?
Well, they'll raise prices, of course. But the thing to remember is that the US and China and India are big domestic markets. So the countries that are going to suffer the most are the small ones.
Okay, so we know President Trump has said this sweeping strategy will be a win for the country and protect domestic industries. What does history tell us about this trade policy approach, though?
Well, the grand bargain that was made after the end of the Second World War kind of leveled the playing field for smaller countries versus bigger ones. And what this is doing essentially is undoing that.
And so what are the implications of that?
Well, it'll raise prices for consumers. It'll make it more difficult for small countries to be globally competitive. And, you can expect to feel it in your pocketbook.
And by how much and how quickly will we see those impacts? You know, most economists do fear the inflationary impacts of this.
Yeah, it won't be right away, but it will be, I would say, within the next year to 18 months. You'll start to see it ripple through things like construction, any place where steel is used, those kinds of industries.
And beyond that, for the everyday American, what types of impacts are you talking about? You said costs more, but will it mean protecting certain jobs and industries? We've heard the president on the trail say that was one of the benefits of this approach.
Well, one of the things we do know is that free trade for that kind of middle skill job, that sort of manufacturing type job, has been kind of a bad deal for a lot of people. So it does have the potential to save jobs, but you're going to see it also in more expensive cars, more expensive homes. Ordinary goods are going to cost more in a number of different sectors.
I'm curious, what are you telling your students about this space that we're in right now?
Well, we're really seeing a broad scale rethinking of the grand post World War II consensus that governed how international relations were set up. And people are now saying, wait a minute, maybe some of those agreements are no longer fit for purpose.
And we're also seeing a shift when it comes to our alliances and our allies. How does all of that fit the global picture when we're talking about who we do business with?
Well, it's huge, right? And I think we're just beginning to grapple with the real transition from an economy based on, fossil fuels to an economy based on digital goods. And you're already seeing things like dematerialization, where, you used to have to buy record albums, right? Now you buy songs and they just fly through the air and land on your device. And so trade is going to be really differentially affected because we're going to see people buying a lot more experiences than physical goods.
Professor, how do you see this all ending, though? Because Americans already are, you know, facing high prices on just about everything. We talked about the price of eggs just a short while ago. No one has an appetite to pay more for anything. So where do you see this going? How does this end?
Well, it'll evolve. There's no end to it. It'll evolve. I think we can expect to be stuck with higher prices for the foreseeable future, and that's going to be really hard for people farther down the income line.
Okay. Professor McGrath, thank you so much for joining us today at Noon.
Always a pleasure. Thank you.